is just fantastic. Captain's log. Subdate 220531.6. I've asked Crumble to look into upping the yield on the quantum torpedoes. The plan is to remove the pants of the Ralph and shove a full spread up his chutney channel. We will then, because the blast radius will be significant, go to warp to escape. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'd like to talk about Ethan Klein of the H3 podcast. More recent comments he made, the context for those comments, and the subsequent fallout, because there's been much divided discussion about the comments he made, and there is plenty of context so as to better understand that. For the sake of it, I'm going to provide the context now, so then the comments he made make more sense. On Tuesday the 24th of May, Salvador Ramos shot his grandmother in the face and fled the property. By 11:30, Salvador had reached Robb Elementary School half a mile away, crashed the pickup that he had taken from his grandparents. He entered the school with a backpack full of ammunition and an AR-15. He shot at two men who emerged from a funeral home right across the street from the school. He then killed 19 children and 2 teachers, before Salvador Ramos was eventually taken down by Customs and Border Patrol agents. For the sake of this video, I am not going to be talking about the pros, cons, whether you should or should not introduce further gun control laws in America. Why? Because I'm English and do not feel it right to tell you whether you should or should not have additional gun control law, but also I don't actually have an opinion on it. I don't own a gun, leg to stand on and all that, which I know to some might seem like a cop-out. Don't try me, it's not one. Understandably, with that incident, tensions have risen in some areas of America, many areas I'm sure. The response has been, understandably, divided, and it causes many to believe that the country should introduce greater gun control laws because, and this is usually the argument, you don't need an AR, you don't need a semi-automatic, you don't need a pew-pew doodah thingy. Along with arguments of, yes, but Constitution, Bill of Rights, all of that jazz. And then others countering with, well, if you care more about that, you clearly don't care about the children. This is why I don't get involved, by the way. It is incredibly polarizing, and there is no version of it where you can speak on those issues without getting mass downvoted and a plethora of comments just abusing you. So with that in mind, we now insert Ethan Klein. Now, Ethan Klein had a history in the past of making edgy jokes. It's important to mention this because it's just a joke, bro, is quite a common response to saying things that are edgy now that weren't so edgy back then, say 2015, because you can't get away with saying some things anymore. One thing you cannot be seen doing as a creator is condoning violence. You might laugh at it, sure, but condoning it, you have to have the right community for it. And that's another important aspect when it concerns Ethan Klein. He doesn't have the community for it anymore. He made a choice, and his choice meant to turn his back on those that would have found edgier humor quite amusing. He can be quite reactive with some of the jokes he makes, but those reactive jokes are typically edgy jokes. Optics are important here, by the way, and that's also something many people don't think about when they say these things. I know I'm building up what Ethan has said, and many people have already spoken about this and said, you should not have said that. I'm not going to say that. But I am going to play the relevant clip, which has since been removed by YouTube, so I've got to be a little careful here.
So there was a big protest outside the NRA meeting, which was good. Do we have any insight into what they're actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today in Texas? Someone should bomb that building.
Because I'm not intellectually dishonest, I'm going to include the disclaimer that everyone else said, take that one back. Because there are some jokes that one should not make at very specific instances. That, considering the nature of the shooting, yes, is a very poor taste joke, and understandably, many have said, you're clearly not joking. The thing is, I actually do think he was joking. The problem is, and this has happened a few times of late, Ethan Klein has let slip the more natural him, the one that is not as, PG, yes, as the current incarnation. The current incarnation has very much been anti a lot of things. Ethan Klein, for many of us creators, was once highly respected, not least because he went to war legally with someone who tried to abuse the copyright system and he won. To us, that felt like a victory for all creators. But then as time has progressed, and I'd say this happened after Trump was inaugurated, it was inevitable for a number of creators. People changed their political opinions or got more involved in politics. In doing so, they got involved with other crowds. It's natural progression for most individuals. Those that were more commonly associated with Ethan, let's say in current year, are those that are in favor of cancelling others, in favor of using rather shady tactics, in favor of very pro-censorship behaviors. Ethan Klein himself has fallen foul of this of late by losing sponsors for things he has said that have been dubbed cancelable. He took this like a pro, of course, and continued doing what has become a remarkably lazy show that still does reasonably well considering the complete and utter lack of effort on his part. Now, I'm not entirely sure if the next clip I'm going to play is from the same show or not, because clips are missing, so do forgive me, but I'm going to play another clip of another joke Ethan made, and everyone's response around him, including his own audience, was very much against him, but it was the constant emphasis of the fact that it's just a joke that I really want to latch onto.
I don't know how to make this joke without making people angry.
All right,
Maybe
don't make it.
But it's good. I mean, it's a good joke.
Don't make it.
Is it?
We're trying
I'm just
to
saying, if
wrap
you're going to
up.
shoot up anything,
Don't make it.
manager is making you sing, we
Got
are here at
it.
Walmart.
Got
I get
it.
Like, if they show, okay, if there was a shooting at Walmart, and then they
Got
show,
it.
Wait, stop.
There was a shooting at Walmart. This is very insensitive. Stop making this joke.
Wait, and
There's
then they
literally a
let me
shooting at
finish.
Walmart today.
Don't finish.
Let me
Finish
finish.
it when it's cutting out.
Let me finish. And then they said, they showed me that video and said, this is what they were doing the day before. I'd be like, that's horrible, but I get it. I'm a comedian. Someone said, it just wasn't funny, Ethan. Straightforward
Would
as it
Netflix
gets.
pick this up? Yes or no? It's just a special about Walmart and
episode.
mass shooting.
Jesus Christ. Wow, 50% no. That's okay, tough crowd. Damn, tough audience. 55% said no, it wasn't funny.
What makes this interesting is that kind of joke can harm the brand, the product, which is what everyone else was trying to protect from Ethan's own very impulsive nature, where he really wants to make these kind of jokes. What doesn't help Ethan Klein, though, when it comes to the earlier one, is his response on Twitter, because he had received a punishment for what he had said, and he, being the champ that he is, decided to stoke some flames. Not helped by anyone that is also equally impulsive, but that doesn't really matter for Ethan because he can then use it to push other points. Try and back you into corners where you then have to have an alternate discussion about something else that isn't relevant to you telling a joke. I'm going to desperately attempt to keep calling it a joke for the time being. I only say this because I find this punishment fascinating considering others have been yeeted for far less. Not that I would support you being yeeted, Mr. Klein, much like them who have been yeeted don't agree with any of it, to be honest, especially for an edgy joke. So Ethan Klein on Twitter, conservatives got triggered over jokes I told and mass reported me. I got banned for a week and the episode was removed. If only they cared about dead children as much as they do jokes. So I want to say sorry. Sorry you are all such pathetic snowflakes. F the NRA and F Abbott, Abbott being the governor of Texas. Responses to that tweet. Tipster, you said a building should be bombed. What did you expect was going to happen? Take accountability for your screw up for once. SMH. ... Underneath is the person who tweeted out the video I played second. In the same video where he spoke about bombing the NRA, he suggested the next mass shootings be at Walmart. Guess kids' lives don't matter if they're at the grocery store. I'm starting to see why this is called H3 After Dark. Keemstar, why was Leafy is Here 5 million sub YouTube channel banned for bullying, but Ethan Klein calls for a terrorist attack on US soil and only gets a YouTube strike? Something is not right. A point can be made certainly in this direction. Because Ethan Klein has had a sit-down conversation with Susan Wojcicki, many believe there is a level of favoritism here. Also from Keemstar, an image of Ethan Klein's original tweet, but tweeted with, now Ethan Klein straight up lying saying it was a joke. It wasn't a joke at all, it was a statement. That's why you said, okay, I'll roll that back. And the fact that he's using this mass shooting, kid's death, to defend his own call for a terrorist attack on US soil is disgusting. I rate Alex. The funniest thing about Ethan Klein is that you can see the edge wanting to jump out of him. He's dying to remove his fake woke filter but keeps doubling down. Underneath Simius. But Alex, there is that sweet clout feeling from the Hassan and woke followers. It's like watching a dramatic comedy train wreck. Ethan Klein, I want to make it clear that I don't advocate for violence of any kind. That is obvious to anyone that watched the segment and not just the 10-second clip that was used to misdirect attention. Republicans are now the party of dead children, and nothing can misdirect away from that. Underneath, Avarith, I love you strawman bit and floofy, here is mine, which by the way really does shine a rather interesting light on his argument. Carvos retweeted Ethan Klein by saying, Ethan Klein would have absolutely rinsed the clips being used if it was anyone he had an agenda against. You effed up, you insufferable prick, just take the L. You know, I think people might be angry with you, Ethan. I wonder why. Is it because you've employed a Def Noodles? It's just a joke, bro? Which, considering the optics and the circumstances, doesn't resonate with people that are on your side usually, those that themselves frequent your content more often, and those that are detractors. I still do believe you were telling a joke. I just think you chose the wrong moment to make that joke. You really did, and it's all because of impulse. And that might be your own undoing, really, not being able to control those urges to say the very things that made you popular and famous in the first place. One of the last tweets I saw from Ethan Klein before I started recording concerned Klein tweeting out a gun Karen filming himself reporting Ethan Klein to the Texas Department of Public Safety. How do these people even use the word snowflake or triggered unironically? Dude is shaking, pooping, and peeing himself over a joke. My retweet. No offense intended here, Ethan, but the edgy 2016 you resurfaced and chose a poor moment to make are funny. The problem you have is hiding behind it's just a joke bro does not resonate on social media, and you know that. So I assume you've dug in because it generates attention, which I guess has some truth to it since you can't upload for a week.